Hey, how's it going? It's Jonathan Miller. Let's go for a drive.
This is where it all started, in this building here. That's where I started. June will be 35 years.
I'm at Vac Motorsports, BMW engine makers and parts makers, service shop, race shop in Philadelphia, and we're going to check out some of the cool stuff that they make. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and hit that bell to be notified when new videos are uploaded. I'm here with Tony, the owner of VAC, and they just got this brand new
Mazak
milling CNC machine. So Tony's going to just show us how it works and show us some of the products that they make with it.
This machine is a Mazak Cnc. This is the smallest one they make right now, the I-100. The Cnc is a mill turn, what they refer to as mill turn. So it's actually a 5-axis milling machine that's a lathe as well. In the old days, you had lathes and then they would put some live tooling on them and stuff like that. But with this machine, you have to think of it more as a mill that can turn some parts. So you know, with this machine here, we can do milled and turned parts. So it has a lot of tooling capacity. We basically added. It comes with 36 tool. We basically got the 72 tool version, and the reason being is that we want to be able to do everything, you know, as much as possible within one setup, done in one. Yeah. You know, so one of the things that this is beneficial for is if we wanted to make hubs and then we have a lot of tools and we're going to be drilling and threading, and then we're going to be you know, drilling and boring, and then in this particular case this would have a gear on it. This is let's just say this is a tool where we don't make this. This is a tool holder that we use, but something like this would be made in a machine like this. Okay. Because you can see there's features on it that are actually turned like a lathe, on a lathe, but there's also features that are milled in there. So this is a bit of a complicated piece. These guys are made on equipment like this. Like, you know, a shifter like this could be made in there because you're making it out of a bar. Let's just say when we do these guys, right? So these pieces that we make. These are hub extenders. You don't need a lot of tools to make this, but in some cases these are larger than a 3-inch. You know, the smaller machines typically have a 2-inch bar capacity, but this guy with the 4-inch, we would be able to do this feature here, machine it, turn this, and then come in and cut the part off, transfer it to the other side, and then finish. Grab it, pick it up with the arm, and then it puts it on a conveyor, and then start the process again, and then you don't need a person next to the machine. So we could do that uninterrupted. Something like this, we'll be doing some special pieces like this, and the machine is also capable of doing splines, so we can go in here and do internal splines. We could do oil pump gears this shape, you know, so this kind of stuff could be done in there. It gives us a lot of flexibility. This is one of our billet oil filter housings. Looks like chrome, but it's not really chrome. This material here is 6061, but it's actually plated, and the coating that's on this thing is conductive. So if you put sensors on here, because basically this goes on the engine like that on an S54, you have pressure sensors, temp sensors, or whatever you want to put over here. This takes that original oil filter out and lets you put an inline. The original oil filter does not have 100% filtration capability. Some of the oil is actually bypasses the filter, which is you start to pick up some metal, it'll circulate through the engine and you wipe your engine out faster. So this will allow for 100% filtration. There's people that have copied this product that have actually just done them as black anodized, but the black anodized is much cheaper, right, but it's not a conductor. So if you start putting sensors in here, you could start getting bad signals as well. So this is definitely one of the premium products that we make, and we like to make sure that it continues to get the more expensive coating. We make these are all made from billet, and I mean these underwent a lot of testing before we released them. So we made the pins wider and larger in diameter. This way it gets rid of the Vanos noise. Also gets rid of the hammering effect that could break it. But when you look at it, I mean, this thing looks like it's OE, but the finish inside, we have to have special tooling made. I think about $15,000 worth of special tooling just to make the splines. But these things are flawless, one piece. There's some stuff in the market, you know, where they weld onto it, but this is hard material. So when you make hard material, you try to weld it on hard material, usually at some point the welds will fracture.
Right.
And I think they're starting to see, you know, some of that in the marketplace. Ours is the only one piece assembly that's done, and it's done right.
So if you guys are into BMW race cars, let's just take a quick look. I'm like a kid in a candy store here. There are race cars, carbon fiber, E36s, E46s, E30s, you name it. Really amazing stuff here. VAC does one hell of a job building some race cars. E36 four-door race car. So I don't know if you guys have seen pictures, but I actually had this big carbon fiber E36 wing on my E46 M3. I thought it looked pretty sick, but definitely better suited on a race car than a street car.
This race car here is basically getting you know, the winterizing and or let's say getting ready for spring. It's been winterized, but we'll give it the once over before season starts. Same thing for that one there. About 800 to the wheels. This is a turbocharged standalone engine management life racing with a Samsonite sequential, and you can see the shifter handle right in there. This thing put down some pretty fast top speed. I think it went up to slipstream, and he won the BMW class, so it's pretty stout. And that was running low boost. This one here got a full engine build as well. On this side of the shop here, what we do is do the cylinder head porting and block work. This machine is dedicated. This is a Centroid. It's the A560. They call it 560 for 5-axis and a 60-degree head. So this head here can tilt. You can see it here tilting, but it can go up to 60-degree angle. What we're doing right now is actually we have a customer who wants us to do these cylinder heads for him, and this is a Honda cylinder head. So he did all the ports to the shape that he likes. And he wants us to digitize because he doesn't want to sit there and port them by hand.
Right.
So right now we're digitizing. We'll have to digitize 2 cylinders on this particular head. After the digitize, we put we'll put the data into Mastercam, and then we create the tool paths in there, and then we put another head in there that hasn't been cut and start cutting. But I can always show you the Mastercam side of the software. But what this machine is doing right now is the autonomous digitizing. So if you look, you can see the green in there. I can zoom in a little bit here. So you can see those lines. That's what it's basically creating, that geometry. You can see all the points in there. So it's just going around picking up points. And after it captures those points, then it turns it into like a spline. Mastercam calls it a spline. Then when you take all those splines, all those arcs and different shapes, well, we can put a surface on them, because when you cut, you actually cut a surface. You don't cut points.
Right.
So yeah, that's basically what we're doing right now. And it does it autonomous, so it will go as deep as it can from this side, then it'll back out and then rotate to the other side, because we've defined this opening and this opening, so it'll go as far as it can. And here you can see that this plate is actually referenced, this way it doesn't crash into the plate. It knows the way it sees the probe is right over here, sees it as one big disc. So it knows exactly where the probe is at all time. This is a brake pressure sensor manifold that we make. So all we can find in the market is this, which obviously doesn't work in here because you'd have to make this manifold really wide. So we buy these and then we shorten them, and then it'll just kind of go in here and there. So we have this lathe set up. There's this collet holder in here. This basically ends up going in like that. So I'll slow it down a little bit and then you'll get the stuff. So it'll come in and it'll start turning the material away. Now when you look at it, you have a nice chamfer. You get one on this side. You know, this manifold will be set up with 4 sensors. One sensor measures the pressure to the front brakes, the other one measures to the back brakes.
Let me know in the comments below if you want me to turn my E46 M3 into something that looks like this beast.
I believe these might even be the 4-ways, but the diff cooler set up with that fan and pretty good weight distribution on this car. Hilton has a new type of pedal, new type of master cylinders. They're actually designed for ABS. The traditional masters don't cope well with the heavy pulsing of the ABS, so typically the lifespan, you know, we cycle them out once a year. But with the new style, you know, there should be much better life. They're a little bit more expensive, but should be better life as well.
Is this motor built?
Yes. This is a stroker VAC, basically 3.5 liter. Makes really good power, as you would expect. The stroker part of it basically adds more torque and a bit more horsepower. Without the Vanos, you know, as a race car with the sequential gearbox, you really don't need the Vanos. Vanos would be beneficial in lower RPM range, but hopefully the driver isn't, you know, needing to go down to 3,000 or 4,000 RPM. But if he keeps it in the power band, this thing just sings. And you can tell from the wiring harness here, like I said, this has an aftermarket engine management. This is running life. the Life ECU, Life Racing ECU also controls the shifting. So you can do flat upshifts, and then it'll blip the throttle for downshift. So it's basically like you're driving a DCT car with a manual gearbox. So it's pretty sweet. That manifold you saw earlier, there's exactly where it's used when I was showing you the fittings that are modified.
I just want to thank Tony at Vac Motorsports for taking me a tour of this amazing facility. I'll link those guys down below. You can check out all the parts and services that they have to offer here in Philadelphia. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, hit that button, give us a thumbs up, and hit the bell to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Once again, guys, take care and drive safe.